a workshop presented by Suzanna K. Letchford. She's on our executive committee and she heads up mentoring for us. Susanna has been with Toastmasters for 4 years, has attained her ACS and ALB, and has a passion for helping others to learn not only to speak, but also to teach and lead others to succeed. Please help me welcome Suzanna.
Thank you so much, Madam Meeting Master. Welcome, fellow Toastmasters. I am here tonight to speak about mentoring. Mentoring happens to be one of my passions, and it's something that I really latched onto into my own club. So I wanted to take this chance to expand on the program that we have and the training that we have for some people who might be wondering if they want to be mentors or how to be a better mentor. First, we did hear from a couple of different people. We've got a number of clubs here, which is very helpful for me. I don't remember, Gary, I know you're dual club. Which other club are you with?
Articulators.
Articulators as well. So we've got 3 clubs represented. 4 clubs. 1, 2, 3, 4, because you've got 2. So we have a little bit of extra. You have 2 as well? What's your other one? Del Toro. Okay. I think you said that. I'm sorry. Fantastic. So we've got 4 clubs, and Stephen's got the rest of Seminole County covered here tonight, which is so helpful because one of the things I do want to find out about is who here has been a mentor before. Raise your hand if you've been a mentor. Fantastic. Raise your hand if you've had a mentor before. Great. So, yes, some of us came in at times when there was no mentor program in the club, and some clubs don't currently have one. Do you know, Bonnie, with your club, do you have a mentor program in your club currently? You do? Fantastic. And with the Manuel Toro, do they also have one or not? Not yet. Different clubs have different viewpoints and are at different levels as far as how they feel about that. So there are a number of different ways that clubs are doing it. And Irving.
Orator. It's kind of loose.
Okay.
New members, but it's not as functional as I had overseas.
Fantastic. Yes, Irving comes actually from a completely different continent, Toastmasters Club as well. And Gary, you were with facilitators as well. They have one.
Articulators.
I'm sorry, articulators. You're with facilitators. They have one at articulators.
They do, and I'm sure it's been there a while, but it's gearing up more now. I've only been around a year or so.
I love hearing how different clubs are doing the mentor program as well. I learned a whole lot when I did a mentor workshop at one of the officer trainings. So I might need to move your brains a little bit about what your club does. Now, in the middle of the table is Sophia and Gary. If you could help pass out those packets and just pass those around. Some of what is in those packets, the top is going to be a quick little agenda about how we're going to run the mentor part of the meeting this evening. Underneath that, those are some forms. We will be going through them. But they're forms that you can take back to your club or for your own files about mentorship. These are some forms that in the Lakeberry Club we're going to start handing out to people. This is a new initiative when they become a mentor. So you're going to have that whole packet that we are giving out, and it's still in progress, so I would love feedback on any of it that you have. Tonight, the purpose of this program is, first off, how to become a more effective mentor for mentees. I'm going to go through a 12-step program, just like AA. It's kind of an MA, Mentors Anonymous. And I'm going to teach you kind of the 12 steps that you should go through with a new mentee in order to help ensure that they become as successful in the club as we can help them. The other part is up to them. I'm also going to talk about the benefits of mentorship very briefly, which includes retaining new members. A lot of clubs see new members come in and quickly drop off. There are a number of reasons for them, and the mentorship program can help with retention there, and it also can help them achieve their goals sooner and a little bit more effectively of the CC and the CM. So we're going to go over all of that. The way that I would like to start is with the packet, because I know whenever I'm handed anything, this is what I'm curious about. What did they give me? It must be so surprising. I'm so excited. I know you're going to be excited about all of this. Your first form is the role of a mentor. Now this is what Toastmasters provides. Toastmasters International has this on their site. Very interesting, very valuable information about how to be a mentor. And we're going to go over a lot of this within our checklist, but keep this for your reference. Second, and I want you to mark this to come back to, because this is your mentor checklist. This is your 12-step program that we will be referring to most of the evening. Behind that is a handy-dandy sheet, if I do say so myself, that who created, well, me. It is the resources sheet. This is what we give both the mentor and the mentee when they get connected during the meeting. So a new member, for them, you can see that they've got helpful sites for them, a couple of the club rules that they might need to know right off the bat, and some contact information, and the top lines are blank. That's where you're going to fill in the mentor's information, their contact information. For the mentor, you're going to fill in the mentee's information. So they have this reference guide. They can be held responsible for knowing where to find what they need to know on this one sheet. Behind this is some supporting documents that you will use as you meet with your mentor. So a lot of informational documents. I won't go through them yet. I'm going to go through them after a little while. And then finally in the very back is an evaluation form. I would love if you could evaluate me this evening as well. I'm here to learn as well. So this is what I want to improve on for my own business. Please fill out your evaluation forms for me for the end of the meeting. I'm going to start with going through that checklist. Remember I mentioned the 12-step program, and that's the list that looks like this. This is your mentor checklist. So if everybody can pull that out and follow along with me. The first thing I do want to start with is think about when you first joined Toastmasters. Your first visit, your first meeting, and your first speech, about the feelings that you had at that time. And we're all at different levels. Don, I hate to pick on you first, but I'm going to pick on you first. And could you just stand up and tell us a little bit about what you remember about being new to Toastmasters as a whole?
Thank you, Suzanna. The first time I came to a Toastmasters meeting, I was kind of prepped as far as what I would expect by our former club president, Eddie Sullivan, who is my coworker. And Eddie set my expectation that this is laid back. You don't have to come to every meeting, because I was concerned that I had a pretty busy schedule. But my first experience was positive in that I saw other people speak, and I knew it was something that I wanted to brush up on since I was a former speaker in college. And I was just really pleased with the overall structure of the meeting and the evaluations, and I thought it was a great opportunity for me to improve myself and apply what I'm learning to my career. So.
Thank you so much, Don. Table topics. That is the feeling that a number of us have when we first go to our first meeting. That excitement and that promise of learning. And that's what the mentor can help bring through those first meetings. Because it can be a little scary and overwhelming once you get in it. Who has ever felt like they're doing something wrong and the whole group is staring at them? I know, I feel that way every day. It's not a good feeling. So the mentor can help you to know what the club rules are, things like that, so you don't feel so out of place and alone. I know we also have some other Toastmasters that come from different areas. We don't all come into a club directly as a new Toastmaster. We heard that Larry came from a Georgia club, Gary has come from other clubs to our Lake Mary club, and Irving came from an entirely different country into a club.
They're all
And
human.
We're all human, yes.
No aliens there except me. I was an alien.
But we all have different experiences and different transitions that we're doing. So a mentor does not need to mentor a new member to Toastmasters. Sometimes it's just giving you the groundwork for how this club runs. I know in Lake Mary we have certain things such as don't walk through the door when somebody's speaking, always shake the Toastmasters' hands. some things that might not be done in other clubs. So the mentor can be there not necessarily to help them with their icebreaker as much as to help them feel like they're following the rules and not rocking the boat. So as a mentor, remember where your mentee is coming from, whether they're brand new to Toastmasters completely or just new to the club, and kind of focus that way. Now on this checklist, we do have the 12 steps. One of the first things that we ask, and we're just starting this in Lake Mary, is that you meet face-to-face with your mentor, your mentee 3 times. This can be either before or after the meeting, and it can be a quick meeting, but 3 times you should meet face-to-face with this person in order to get a chance for them to let you know how they're doing, let you know where they might need assistance, or even let you know, I'm doing great. Thank you for checking on me. Don't check on me for a week. That's okay. Now the mentee does lead this relationship. The mentee is responsible for letting their mentor know when they need some additional help and asking for guidance. The mentor is never supposed to be pushy. This helps the mentee to get used to that by having 3 meetings. During the first few meetings, you're going to do things, and along the checklist you'll check them off, such as explaining the various parts of the club meetings. One of your handouts has the different parts of the club meetings and how the program works. The meeting roles explained. So you might want to go through on your first meeting the agenda and just explain, this is what table topics is for, and this is how it's generally run. If you ever run table topics, the proper way to call on somebody is this. Just little things that are going to spark your interest and help them assimilate to how that meeting is run. Tell the mentee some of your personal stories. Hearing where you came from and what experiences you have helps them to really connect with you as a person. And then you can actually share a little bit on a more emotional and friendship side, which will help them to open up. Let the mentee know about club customs and procedures. This is where that don't walk in while somebody's speaking comes in. Don't leave the lectern. Call it a lectern or a podium. Tonight we have a podium. Different things like that, whatever your club focuses on. Different clubs have different rules which are a little bit more important. Make sure to help them and let them know those important rules so they don't feel like they're a fish out of water. Encourage the mentee to do their icebreaker as soon as possible. And I included in the new mentor packet an icebreaker speech in case they don't have their manual with them, to go through what the purpose is, get some ideas about how they're feeling. They might want a lot of help. They might want to know, what should I say? How should I say it? Will you listen to me? Read it through a few times. I've done that with many people. And they might be someone who says, I've got this under control, thank you. And just make sure that they know the rules of how long it needs to be and what the general purpose is. But you've got this in front of you in case any situation. Discuss speech ideas and other suggestions. Sometimes within the first few speeches, someone might hit kind of a block, a speaker's block. And they won't necessarily be able to figure out some ideas for what to speak about. Your body speaks can be a tough one for some people. If you're not the type, if you're not like me, you're just big, then that might be tough. Vocal variety might be tough, because finding the subject that's going to make that easier for them is great. Giving them a couple of ideas about different things they can do. Tell us about yoga. Tell us about your violin. Tell us about that time that you ran away from the bear when you went camping. Things like that will really help them to get past that block and feel more successful at their projects. And we want them to feel successful every step of the way, because if they're learning, they're succeeding. So give them different ideas about speech topics. A great thing to do also is offer feedback. Make sure first that the feedback is welcome, but offer feedback after each of their speeches. I know myself, personally, I love to hear ways that I can improve, and sometimes just the written evaluations and the spoken evaluation just isn't enough. I really need somebody to one-on-one tell me, honestly, these are some other things that weren't mentioned. And that's a great thing for somebody to know that you've got their back. You're going to make sure to encourage them, but also support them in their learning. So offer suggestions after many of their speeches if that's a relationship that you've opened up and if they're open to it. If they're not open to it, that's okay. Let it go. But let them know that you're there for that. Explain the roles of club officers. I know a lot of times it takes months of being in the club for the first time before you quite understand who the officers are and what they do. So a brief overview, who do you go to if you have a schedule change? Who is the person who put the flag up? Because I want to let them know they did it backwards. Who is the person that I call in order to pay my dues? Just going through the officer roles, and I've given, this is for our club, but I have given the officer roles sheet along with at the bottom the contact information of the current officers. So this way they know who to go to for different questions. That'll just help them be a little bit more successful in getting the answers they need. Provide positive feedback and compliment them on their progress. Sometimes when we're really scared, we just need an encouraging word. Be that encouraging word for them. Tell your mentee where and how to get information. As a mentor, one of the important things a lot of people don't understand, you don't have to know everything. You don't have to be the best speaker in the world. You don't have to know everything about speaking. But you do need to know where to find that information. The answer is the Toastmasters site. You guys all know you're perfect mentors now. Exactly. It's that easy. Help lead them to resources that are going to be specific to them that will help them out. Sometimes, if they're going to be grammarian, lead them to the Word of the Day site. There is a Word of the Day site out there, which is wonderful. It's on your resources page because I'm not good at it. But
7 years, didn't know that.
fantastic. Wow. I don't think it's an official Toastmasters one, but it's set up to print and everything. It's beautiful. Lead them to the Toastmasters site and let them know. Your manual does not tell you absolutely everything about that project. There's more. If you go to the website, you can find out more about how to be even more successful. Let them know these resources. Sometimes you might not be the best person to be helping them with a certain speech. If they're doing My Body Speaks, and that's one of your main struggles, help them because that is one of your struggles too, and to teach is to learn, but also lead them to somebody else who's got it down. Lead them to somebody else who can help them overcome that as well. And feel free to, both of you, have a little mentee session with that person that you lead them to. You don't have to be the final answer as a mentor. So take that pressure off of yourself because we're all here together, and any Toastmaster should be open to somebody asking for help. Encourage the mentee to read the emails and notices. A lot of times they don't read them, they don't know what to look for. But do you know what types of things, you can stand up and let me know what types of things Lake Mary emails out to their members.
We get the sketch out, Madam.
There we go.
Speaker. I always look for the schedule for the next day, for the next meeting. And a good Toastmaster will always put the total agenda up at least the night before. Probably they don't have all the information until then anyway, but that's very useful. And the other one is the schedule, where they send out the schedule 3 or 4 weeks in advance, sometimes 5 or 6. It makes it very easy to plan. I always circle my name when I see it on the schedule, then I know what's coming up, and that keeps me alert to any obligations that I may have. So those are the 2 things I look for.
Perfect. And those are great. That right there. I don't know about you, but I can easily get 50 to 100 emails in one day. But if I know what I'm looking for, thank you so much, Bud, then I know to go ahead and open that Toastmasters email because that's what's most likely in it, or put it aside for later because that's what's most likely in it. You're going to check your emails if you know what's in them. You also want to explain the speech contests and encourage them to go to contests, the conferences, the trainings. The more they know about what to expect and how much freaking fun it is, the more they're going to want to go. So encourage that. You don't have to be an expert to participate in those. And that's one thing that they might not know. They might think that they have to be in for 4 years. And finally, the CL manual. I don't know how many times we say the CL manual. The mentor should be telling the mentee what the CL manual is and how to complete it. It's a confusing manual when you're trying to go through all of that. So your mentor should go through the CL manual during one of your face-to-face meetings preferably and show you the structure of how there are different projects with different learning objectives and what you need to complete for each. And your club is going to benefit. There will be so many more CLs in your club if they just know that that's so easy to do. So that is the 12 steps to being a great mentor. Do you think that you can be a great mentor with these steps? Raise your hand if you think you can follow these steps. If you don't have your hand up, I'm talking to you afterwards. These are the steps that it takes to be a great mentor, and everybody can do it. In Lake Mary, and every club is different, we only require that you have done 3 speeches before you be a mentor. Why only 3? Because you learn by teaching. Things that you might not understand yet, if your mentee asks you about it, you both can find the answer in resources. But you do need to have those 3 in order to know the club rules and the basic how things flow. So you too can be a great mentor with a couple of easy steps. Now, a few final tips that I did want to go through with you. Aside from the 3 face-to-face meetings, you should also expect time for phone calls, emails, and any other activities like sitting next to them at the meeting, saying hi to them in the meeting, or hooking them up with a resource. You don't have to invest a lot of time, but this is an important part of what you are committing to. And a few tips. In the back of the room, having you as their mentor, smiling, no matter what they're doing, no matter how bad their speech is, no matter how bad they're shaking, if they know that they can always connect to you and see your smile, and if the world is falling apart, they've got an anchor. Be their anchor. Smile for them, connect them to resources, be there when they need you, answer their calls or emails. Check in with them once every week or 2. Shoot them an email. Say, I'm still here. How's it going? If they don't show up, call them. See if they're having trouble. That is a mentor's responsibility. And celebrate with them. You are here to celebrate their learning, their experience, and their hard work. Because it is not easy, especially that first speech. And if after that first speech they have someone giving them a high five and rooting for them, they're ready for their second speech. So celebrate them, and that is your job as a mentor. How easy is that? It's not too bad. So I encourage all of you to go out and be a great mentor. It does not take that much if you can smile and talk. You're it. Thank you so much.